Shwa Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki Paramananda Pathaya Nitye Premavarshi Aksharayate Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namastute. Hare Krishna. Thank you again for joining. So we just completed chapter number 17 of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, entitled The Supreme Lord Becomes Aditi's Son. So in the previous chapter, now I will do a quick synopsis of this chapter and then take some reflections before we move on to the next chapter. So in the previous chapter, what happened? Mata Aditi was disturbed. Kashyap Muni came back, asked the reason for her disturbance, and when she told that her sons are homeless, she wanted to take help. And Kashyap Muni told that, well, you do this Payovrata sacrifice because ultimately the Lord can fulfill all our desires, the Lord can solve all our perplexities of life. And then she asked, can you please elaborate the process of Payovrata? And then he explained the process, and then she followed the process. Now, chapter 17 is the outcome of what happened when she followed the process. So, when one follows the advice of the spiritual master and Krishna under disciplic succession, following the rules and regulations without laziness, in the first verse it's mentioned, she followed her guru, her husband, and the supreme to achieve the supreme Lord without laziness, sincerely and strictly following the principles, concentrated her mind completely on the Supreme Lord. The Lord Vishnu appeared in the four-handed form, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Dhari. He appeared with the yellow garment, Pita Vasa or Pitambara. And Aditi was kind of overwhelmed to see the Lord face to face. The Lord has come. So her joy had no bound. She was in great ecstasy, and but she did not forget the Vaishnava etiquette. She offered Dandavats Pranam with folded hands. Her hairs were standing on end. Her body was trembling. Her eyes filled with ecstatic, joyful tears of love. And then she began to offer prayers. So first step, Dandavat Pranam. Whenever we discuss how should we meditate upon deities, first offer Pranam, then offer the prayers, then now. First Pranam, then now. So then she glorified Krishna's name, form, qualities, that how he is Ramapati, Yagyapati, Jagatpati, and offered multiple prayers. So about talking about the glorification of the Lord's holy name, talking about the personality of Godhead, talking about how the Lord is the complete, the Adi, how he's the supreme controller, how he is infallible in text number 8, 9, and 10. And then finally she asked, well, Lord, you are all merciful, you are all knower, all eternal. You can do anything. Please help me out. Please fulfill my desires. These demons are troubling us. And then the Lord says, so the lotus-eyed Lord responded. So the Lord said, well, I already know whatever your thoughts are, because Lord is present inside our Lord is always there with us. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta. And he's all knower, so how can anything be unknown from him? Well, at this point, the demons are unconquerable. Why? Because they have worshipped Brahmanas, they have worshipped their teachers, who in turn are favored by the Supreme Lord. So, very, very important lesson, and we discussed that in great detail, that one who is favored by the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, cannot be defeated by anyone. And that's what Bali Maharaj was favored by. The devotees, pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Brahmanas. Yet I will favor you by some means or the other because you are my devotee. So Krishna is kind of like, saying, okay, I can't do anything, but still I can do something. This is Supreme Lord. I shall become your son. Okay, I'll become an Amsha. My plenary portion in your womb and then I will reward you, but at the right time. So go and worship your husband, and do not tell this secret to anyone. So Aditi Mata does that, and then the Lord enters first in the mind uh, of Kashyapa. He could feel that the Lord has entered, and we discussed this, I think, yesterday and day before, that the birth of the Lord is not like an ordinary person. Um, he is not an ordinary person. So are his parents. Who chooses our parents? Did any one of us choose their parents? I want to be born in, you know, Mr. and Miss this, or in this country, in this city, in this, wealthy family or poor family, or tall family or short family. Did we all choose that? No, we don't choose that. Lord chooses, right? The Lord is coming. Well, I'll be born to you. So it shows that many, many ways we can understand that the birth of the Lord is not ordinary. And then when the Lord was present in Aditi's womb, from the mind to the heart, and then to of Kashyapa, then to Aditi, and then similar, very, very similar as Krishna's birth to Vasudev and then Devaki. So then Brahma gets to know, Brahma, the great Mahajan, the great Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya just spoke about, gets to know that the Lord has appeared, and then he comes and offers wonderful prayers. Oh, you are Trinabhaya, Tripristhaya, you are the resident in everyone's heart, you are the time factor. Even the demigods take shelter of you. So that then the Supreme, this Brahma, is coming to offer wonderful prayers, which again shows that all the demigods also, time and again, they take shelter of whom? Krishna. Without his mercy, they are kind of helpless and they don't have any independent powers. And very, very nice verse we discussed upon. So, this world is like a violent storm or a hurricane or a ocean. Kalidoshan Nidhirajam. It's an ocean of faults, ocean of miseries, correct? Dukhalayam. But there is one hope, one who chooses to take shelter of the boat of the lotus feet of Lord and pure devotees. Then one will be saved. These four paramparas are also referred to as, like, four ropes to pick us out. So we should not hold a dog's tail, we should hold the boat of lotus feet of Lord Krishna. That's a quick summary of these 28 verses. Anyone has any reflections, anything really struck you in this chapter before we move on to the next chapter, which is Lord Vamanadev, the dwarf incarnation? Any comments, additions, questions, corrections? Okay, then we will move to the next chapter, chapter 18. Would someone like to read the summary? Who has not gotten a chance today to read? Anyone? Ekant Prabhu, you want to read? Sudhir Prabhu? Anyone wants to read?
Prabhu, I can read.
Yes.
Chapter 18, Lord Vamanadev, the Dwarf Incarnation. This chapter describes how Lord Vamanadev appeared and how he went to the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Bali, who received him well and fulfilled his desire by offering him benedictions. Lord Vamanadev appeared in this world from the womb of Aditi, completely equipped with conch shell, disc, club, and lotus. His bodily hue was blackish, and he was dressed in yellow garments. Lord Vishnu appeared at an auspicious moment of Sravana Dwadashi, when the Abhijit star had arisen. At that time, in all the three worlds, including the higher planetary system, outer space, and this earth. All the demigods, the cows, the brahmanas, and even the seasons were happy because of God's appearance. Therefore, the auspicious day is called Vijaya, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has Satchidananda body, appeared as the son of Kashyapa and Aditi. Both of his parents were very astonished. After his appearance, the Lord assumed the form of a dwarf, Vamana. All the great sages expressed their jubilation, and with Kashyapa Muni before them, they performed the birthday ceremony of Lord Vamana. At the time of Lord Vamanadev's sacred thread ceremony, he was honored by the sun god, Brihaspati, the goddess presiding over the planet Earth. The deity of the heavenly planets, his mother, Lord Brahma, Kubera, the seven rishis, and others. Lord Vamanadev then visited the sacrificial arena on the northern side of the Narmada river, at the field known as Brigu Kacha, where the Brahmanas of the Brigu dynasty were performing yajnas. Wearing a belt made of munja straw, an upper garment of deer skin, and a sacred thread, and carrying in his hands a danda, an umbrella, and a water pot, kamandulu, Lord Vamanadev appeared in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Bali. Because of his transcendentally effulgent presence, all the priests were diminished in their prowess, and thus they all stood from their seats and offered prayers to Lord Vamanadev. Even Lord Shiva accepts on his head the Ganges water generated from the toe of Lord Vamanadev. Therefore, after washing the Lord's feet, Bali Maharaj immediately accepted the water from the Lord's feet on his head and felt that he and his predecessors had certainly been glorified. Then Bali Maharaj inquired of Lord Vamanadev's welfare and requested the Lord to ask him for money, jewels, or anything he might desire. Hare Krishna. So here Srila Prabhupada summarizes the thing, and few points is coming to my mind that so Lord is Aja. I mean, he's not like us. As we can see, he appeared with his original form, four-arm form. So that's kind of like a difference, like our birth from a womb and Lord's birth. His Satchidananda means his body is Sat, not perishable, not destroyable, Chid, full of bliss and knowledge, and Ananda, full of bliss. So, and we can see that how Srila Prabhupada explained in one line that because of his presence, all the prowess of diminished in the Brahmanas sitting there, and they spontaneously stood up because they understood that this is a supreme personality of God. And so as we can see that those are the difference from Lord's appearance and our appearance. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you, please, add or tell.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brahmaji. So let's dive deeper into this wonderful chapter of Vamanadev's appearance. We'll start with the first verse. Shri Shuka Vacha Itham Virincha Stuta Karma Viryaha Pradur Bhava Babhava amrta-bhuh adityam Chaturbhujaha Shankha Gadabja Chakraha Pishanga Vasa Nila Nilanayitikshanah. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Shukadeva Goswami said, after Lord Brahma had thus spoken, glorifying the Supreme Lord's activities and prowess, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never subject to death like an ordinary living being, appeared from the womb of Aditi. His 4 hands were decorated with a conch shell, club, lotus, and disc, and he was dressed in yellow garments, and his eyes appeared like the petals of a blooming lotus. Wow, such a beautiful verse explaining the beauty of the Lord. Purport: the word amrta-bhuh is significant in this verse. The Lord sometimes appears like an ordinary child taking birth, but this does not mean that he is subject to birth, death, or old age. One must be very intelligent to understand the appearance and the activities of the Supreme Lord in his incarnations. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. One should try to understand that the Lord's appearance and disappearance and his activities are all divyam or transcendental. The Lord has nothing to do with the material activities. One who understands the appearance, disappearance, and activities of the Lord is immediately liberated. After giving up his body, he never again has to accept a material body but is transferred to the spiritual world. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti suvarjana. This is the second line of 4.9 verse. So, as Prabir Prabhu was mentioning this point that the birth, and we have discussed in the last chapter also, the birth of the Supreme Lord is not ordinary, like an ordinary child getting born, or his disappearance either. So, he is not subjugated to birth, old age, disease, and death. Right? So, even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, from an external perspective, he was above 100 years old. How in the material world a 100-year-old person looks like? Right? Very active, young? No. But the Lord is Navayovanamcha. He's like a young 16-year-old youthful boy. His age does not grow or beyond that. So interesting, very interesting. And even on the lap of his mother, he is God. It's not that he becomes God after getting some powers from someone. Or it's not that he will get some strength by going to gym and then he will kill demons. He killed demons as a toddler. Putana, 6 days, when Kṛṣṇa was just 6 days after his appearance, Putana came. The first demon is. And so many, lifting Govardhan Hill, 7 years. So all these things show that Kṛṣṇa and his incarnations, their appearance is not ordinary. Who is born with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma? Who is born with yellow garments? Any child is born with garments? No, they're not born with garments. They're not born with all these paraphernalia. They're not born with the chinna or the signs on their hands and their feet of their divinity. So here again, the Krishna's beauty is explained. His articles, what he was holding, is explained, and this will, I believe, continue in the following verses too. Okay, you can read the next verse. Anyone wants to read text 2?
Hare Krishna. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, Mataji.
You go ahead, Prabhuji. I read.
I'll read the next one, Mataji. Go ahead.
Oh. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam. Text 2. Syamavadato jasa raja kundala tisholla sakche vadanam bhujaha puman Srivatsa Vaksha Balayanga Dolashat Kirita Kanchi Guna Charu Nupuraha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, blackish in complexion, was free from all inebrities. His lotus face, decorated with earrings resembling sharks, appeared very beautiful, and on his bosom was the mark of Srivatra. He wore bangles on his wrists, armlets on his arms, a helmet on his head, a belt on his waist, a sacred thread across his chest, and ankle belts decorating his lotus feet. Here, how the Supreme Personality of Godhead looks like, and how he dressed up and decorated with different garments. That's what it's describing. Back to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So shark-shaped earrings we have discussed multiple times. Lasat kundalam gokule vrajaman. This kundala which keep moving, shark-shaped earrings. And all these aspects, like, he's just born, right? We just talk about he's just born. Or he just appeared. So who appears with a Brahman thread? Who appears with this waist belt? So in short, again and again, we are learning this point that the Supreme Lord and all his incarnations are not ordinary, Tom, Dick, Harry. So the beautiful form of the Lord, his features and his different aspects are shared. Yes, Sudhir Prabhu, you want to read next verse?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees and the Pranam of Krishna Sri. Madhu vrata Vigusthasya Svaya Virajita Sri Vanamalya Hari Prajapate Vasmetama Swaro Chisa Vinasyayan Kanta Nivasta Kaustubha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. An uncommonly beautiful garland of flowers decorated his bosom, and because the flowers were extremely fragrant, a large group of bees, making their natural humming sounds, invaded them for honey. When the Lord appeared wearing the Kaustubha gem on his neck, his effulgence vanquished the darkness in the home of Prajapati Kashyapa. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So in continuation, we can see how beautiful the Supreme Lord Krishna Vamana has been decorated with the flowers, and the bees are making humming sound and invading the honey. So and also Lord wearing the Kaustubha gem on his neck. So we can see that how beautiful the Lord has appeared. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Please explain.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. We'll keep reading. Next 4. Anyone wants to read? Nayan Prabhu, want to read? Okay. Arundhati Mataji, want to read?
Okay. Disha Prasudha Shailashada Tada Prajaha Prahashata Ratvo Guna Veta Dayar Antakarnam Kṛṣṇa Agni Java Gavo Daivat Jiva Sajjan Saru Nagascha. Purport. Why Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. At that time, there was happiness in all directions. In the reservoir of water like the rivers and oceans, and the core of everyone's heart, the various seasons displayed
their respective qualities, and all living entities in the upper planetary system, in outer space, and on the surface, on the earth, were jubilant. The demigods, the cows, the Brahmanas, and the hills and mountains were all filled with joy. Well, it's very simple explanation. During the seasonal change, uh, Lord Krishna's serve various rupas is the whole prakriti changes with filled of joys, even the oceans, mountain, all the plants, and they get juvenile, they get new life, like spring is coming. You can see how the atmosphere is changing. The prakriti looks so beautiful. So that's the way I depicts.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. So there was happiness and joy in all directions. Similarly, when Krishna is born, there is all happiness. When Krishna is born or Krishna appears in the heart of a devotee, there is all happiness. Similarly, when Krishna enters through any medium, whether it's through prasadam, through chanting, through reading of Prabhupada's books, meeting with a pure devotee, etc., etc., then what happens? Hippies to happies, right? So many examples, thousands and thousands. Think about our lives also. I'm sure our life without Krishna consciousness, our past, we may be doing things which leads to only one thing: frustration, envy, greed, depression. But when one takes to the process of Krishna consciousness, that means Krishna enters in their lives, all the negative elements are gone, and all the divine qualities come, all the spiritual elements come, all the happiness comes in the life of a person who is sincerely following Krishna consciousness. And that's why we say, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Prabhupada said, happy devotee is the best devotee. So, not chant Hare Krishna and be miserable. There were multiple names of the word Madhava. Madhu also refers to the spring season, as Mataji was mentioning. As soon as Krishna appears or Krishna enters, it's like a spring season. So another name of Krishna is Madhava, which has multiple meanings. But one of the meanings of the word Madhava is that as soon as Krishna entered, it's like a spring season. It's like everything is blossoming, everything is flourishing. So in the life of a devotee also, if Krishna is there, if one has, holding the feet of the Supreme Lord closely in one's heart, then everything will blossom. What did Mata Kunti say in her prayers? Oh dear Supreme Lord, everything is flourishing, the fields, the farms, everything is very, very prosperous. Why? Because of the lotus feet of your footprints, because you are present. Not because we have put good seeds, not because of my own hard work. Krishna's mercy is what will make us flourish in any aspect of our life. So, when the Lord is there, everything will go nicely. When the Lord is not there, there will be darkness. When the Lord is present, there will be light of knowledge. Jnana Deepina Bhasvata. He will come in the heart, He'll enlighten us. Dadami Buddhi Yogantam. One who takes sincere to the process. In short, one's life will be full of joy, happiness. Right? That's what we all want. Who doesn't want happiness and joy in their lives? Correct? Everyone wants that only. We're all searching for happiness. George Harrison wrote to forward to the Krishna book. Everyone is searching for happiness. Some know it, some don't know it. In short, everyone is looking for this Krishna consciousness. Some know it, some don't know it. Some try to find it in material things. Oh, new car will give happiness. New wife will give happiness. New home will give happiness. New promotion will give happiness, etc. but doesn't really happen still. So, bring Krishna, bring happiness. No Krishna, no happiness. Any other comments? Any additions anyone has? Okay, Sampada Mataji wants to read, so this will be the last verse for today, and then we'll pause. Yes, Mataji, please.
Text 5, Hare Krishna. Shonayam Shavana Dwadasyam Muhurte Pijiti Prabhu Sarve Nakshatra Taratyas Chakrustaj Janma Dakshinam. Translation. On the day of Shravana Dwadasi, the 12th day of the bright fortnight in the month of Bhadra, when the moon came into the lunar mansion Shravana at the auspicious moment of Abhijit, the Lord appeared in this universe. Considering the Lord's appearance very auspicious, all the stars and planets, from the sun to Saturn, were munificently charitable. Purport. Srila Viswanatha Chakravarti Thakur, an expert astrologer, explains the word nakshatra taradhyaha. The word nakshatra means the stars. The word tara in this context refers to the planets, and adhyaha means the first one specifically mentioned. Among the planets, the first is Surya, the sun, not the moon. Therefore, according to the Vedic version, the modern astronomers' proposition that the moon is nearest to the earth should not be accepted. The chronological order in which can you scroll down a little bit? The chronological order in which people all over the world refer to the days of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, corresponds to the Vedic order of the planets and thus circumstantiates the Vedic version. Apart from this, when the Lord appeared, the planets and stars became situated very auspiciously, according to astrological calculations, to celebrate the birth of the Lord. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Back.
Thank you. So, in short, in this verse, we see that Lord appeared on the 12th day, Dwadashi. You see, Vamana Dwadashi, Krishna Janmashtami, Narshing Chaturdashi. So, based on the dates where they appeared, so Lord Vamana appeared on Shravan Mas Dwadashi. So, therefore, we say Shravan or Vaman Dwadashi, the 12th day, Dwa Dasha. Dwa means 2, Dasha means 10. And actually, Lord Gauranga's appearance is next week. From an external calculation, it was a very, very inauspicious time, the time of eclipse. But when the Lord appears, the inauspicious becomes auspicious. Correct? Similarly, we see in the story of Prahlad Maharaj also. He was influenced by Kṛṣṇa Graha. You know, some people say, oh, Shani Graha is influencing, oh, Mangal is influencing, oh, bad period is going, oh, good period is going, oh, don't do this, don't do that, and all not. But if one is influenced by Kṛṣṇa Graha, that means one is fully Krishna conscious, then everything is Mangal only, right? Because if the Lord is in the heart of such a sincere soul, that person is always Krishna conscious, then nothing can be amangal, then nothing can be inauspicious in his or her life. All we need to improve is our surrender to that Supreme Lord. Any other comments? We have raised your hand. You have a comment or thought or?
No, wanted to.
Want to read? Okay, then we'll read one more verse. Yes, Mataji, please read.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dvadasham savitadishtan madhyan dina gato nripam Vijaya nama saprokta yashyam janma vidur hare. Translation and purport. Okay, translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. O King, when the Lord appeared on Dwadashi, the 12th day of the moon, the sun was at the meridian, as very learned scholar knows. This Dwadashi is called Vijaya. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, in short, all the planets, stars, sun, moon, Jupiter, all these planets and nakshatras, etc., they they are subordinates to the Supreme Lord, right? So they kind of arrange themselves in such a nice way. Oh, the Lord is appearing, so let's arrange ourselves in a nice way so that it becomes auspicious for the Lord. In short, it's their offering to the Lord. It's not that the Lord is dependent on these arrangements of the Lord, of these stars and the sun and etc. Rather, to offer their gratitude, because ultimately Indra is the king of demigods. And why is the Lord appearing? Correct? Why is the Lord appearing? The Lord is appearing to help these people, right? Because Indra was homeless along with the other demigods. So now a question may come. Maybe we'll cover it next time. It's already 17. Any other comments or questions? Additions? Okay, so we will pause here and continue tomorrow. So tomorrow His Grace Gopishwar Prabhu is going to speak on the glories of Lord Chaitanya. So please attend. And yes, don't forget, tomorrow it's not at 9 a.m., it's at 8 a.m. So Eastern time, 8 a.m. And please, so you can plan your day accordingly. Okay, so we'll pause here. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Swami Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.